Do I even need to explain it? X-Men 97 Tolerance is Extinction Part 2. Episode 9 was exactly like the last 8 episodes. 7.5. Fucking good. Guys, I'm seriously so excited for next week because I truly believe we will get an actual Marvel Studios show that will not only stick the landing, but will be respected in a serious manner to a whole different degree. Like, I think Loki is a really good show, but I have to be honest, if someone asked about it, I'd say they should check it out. And if someone asked about X-Men 97, I'd say you need to get off your bitch ass and go watch it right now. That's the difference. Like, in the same regard that I think Daredevil is cinema, this show, I'd have no fear that if I recommended it to anyone, they'd come back saying they wasted their time. That's the goal with good television, right? Make sure the journey episode to episode is entertaining and engaging, but make the ending so satiating that the viewer doesn't question whether their time spent watching was worth it. Make them certain every second they'd spend all over again just the same. We start with Xavier back in the fray, explaining how he picked Magneto so that Scott and Jean could enjoy the future, the better future they were all trying to create without having to worry about the team. Pretty much what their main point of contention was at the beginning of the series. They'd just always be getting pulled back into the X-Men life, and damn, that's gotta be like when your kids don't say they love you back. Storm returns with Forge and gets caught up to speed on all the happenings with the team. They, as a team, plan out how they'll deal with both Bastion and Magneto to turn the power back on before it gets turned off forever on Earth, so the clock is ticking, adding to the overall tension. Then Magneto comes through with Asteroid M, which he raises from the ocean in the beginning of the episode, and then is just gallivanting about Earth with it, okay? I'm getting a little bit of Laputa vibes here, just more metal in all regards. Like, that's such a fucking flex to just be floating around Earth with your own little world. But Magneto comes through and drops bars like, I was doing everything you asked, trying to walk your path, honoring your dying wish, but here you are, not dead, revealed to be chilling with some bad bitty in space, and here you are, and not only did your plan not work, it caused a genocide. Magneto's not trying to hear anything from Professor X, with good reason. Like, his motivation is so damn strong, and Charles even says when he speaks to President Kelly, the world has proven every one of his fears true. So you're pretty much like, shut your bald ass up, Professor X, for the entirety of the episode, because he's just been getting told off by everyone like an absentee father. Like, where were you when we needed you? And of course, Rogue chooses to go with Magneto to Avalon, and then so does Sunspot. Scott gets a nice little father-son moment with Cable, and we get our uncanny X-Men suit up, brown and yellow in the best way possible. Love the black and leather line. Look, when I was a kid, I loved these suits. I still have a lot of love for the first X-Men movies, even as bad as the last one was, but I would take embracing the comics every single day of the fucking week over black leather, okay? And let's not start with the revisionist history, okay? Before both Blue Team and Gold Team split up, we also get to see Storm and Jean's friendship shine. The way the depth of their friendship is conveyed in such a short amount of time is so good. We get our Gold Team attacking Bastion's evil villain volcano lair goals. Love that Storm's back destroying Sentinels, and the one-hand clap line from Beast was just great. We get our Hulk smash moment courtesy of Morph. I'm thinking Incredible Hulk 97, and honestly, I feel like we're going to see Iron Man next week or some big non-X-Men character. Sinister versus Jean was a long time coming. Really solid choreography and of course animation. It's great that Jean doesn't care when her and Madeline were switched out, but I do hope we get to find that out. I'm glad she was able to use the light to expose him, and him setting Cable on her is some next level fuckery, because it's like he's mind controlled, so he's going to let off on her, which I'd imagine has to be conflicting for him as well, because shit, that looks exactly like your mom. And then you have the memory of this being your son, so it's just so heavily layered here. So I'm curious what will end up pulling Cable out of Sinister's trance in the same way Madeline was, and will it be something pure, or will it be something like killing Jean? Also, this might legit be the coolest shot Marvel Studios has ever produced. Studio Mirror, thank God for you. Just straight up Dragon Ball Z with Cable using its telekinesis. Oh my god. On Asteroid M, we cut to the chase with the fighting, and eventually they're able to get Magneto's helmet off, and that's when Charles attempts to turn the Earth's power back on, but to no avail, since Psyche sensed that Jean was in distress, needed to buy Gold Team more time, and stopped him with a blast. Again, hats off to the animation team. This scene is just so intense and excellently displays the extent of Xavier's powers here, which damn, once you covered that head of hair, Scott turns into an absolute demon. But we see Magneto gets pierced by Wolverine's claws, which is just so insane to see, because it's like, that's the easiest person for Magneto to keep at bay. Like, I would have immediately stuck Wolverine to a wall, and of course the animation is amazing. But this is when the climactic event of X-Men Volume 2 Issue 25 Fatal Attractions takes place, and we get the iconic Magneto ripping the adamantium and using it as a cliffhanger. Bo DeMayo, the the man that you are. As far as predictions go for the finale, I think Jean's gonna die. I think that's how Emma Frost comes through with Scott. I think another Avenger comes through next week, maybe setting up potentially an Avengers vs X-Men storyline for season 2. I think Sinister is hiding another clone up his ass, and that's gonna be interesting to see if maybe he had something to do with Bishop not returning. Everyone is speculating that either Onslaught or Apocalypse will be teased for next season because apparently, and I need to do more 90s X-Men reading, which honestly is such butter for me to read. Like, the older comics admittedly are just harder to read, but in the 90s I feel like the art just catches up to my speed or my sensibilities because of this issue and what Magneto essentially forces Professor X to do, which Xavier for the majority of the issue is like, I've been acting way too bitch-made with you. I need to break my one rule for you to save countless others from your bullshit. So he essentially turns Magneto into a vegetable. This is what eventually creates Onslaught. If you ever had a big brother that had Marvel vs. Capcom for PlayStation, you'll have a core memory of this mofo. And Apocalypse is the mofo who gives Wolverine his adamantium back after he went feral for a time due to his mutation, kicking in harder and making him a true Sigma Lord, you know, with that shrunken in nose and the, you know, hanging low to the ground, running on all fours and shit. How we're all trying to get, you know? Again, I feel like more things will come to light after the season ends with Bo DeMayo's firing, but what is evident and refreshing about him is that he seems to have a serious reverence for the source material and has made it a priority to leave his ego at the door and not trying to leave his impression on these characters in hopes they maintain their integrity based on what garnered them such favor in the first place by being who they have been and not creating some stark change in their character for the sake of your ego. Bo makes a pretty solid assertion that it's a fine line between doing too much and maligning the characters or not doing enough and retreading the comics, leading to a project that for the most part outside of animation wouldn't be able to justify its existence. Just read the comics at that point. But ultimately, I think that Bo has done that well. From all his tweets, it seems, and again, I wouldn't truly know because I wasn't there, but it seems like he just demanded a lot from his team, what with mandating watching sessions of X-Men the original series, and maybe some people couldn't handle that. Also, just the fact that it seems they really could have phoned this series in and just rode the wave of the X-Men name and given us something extremely tame and safe, but I think Bo knew that the audience for this show would be heavily 90s kids who needed something as mature as they ended up becoming. We have blood, we have gut-wrenching animation, complex relationships and emotions that leave us stimulated long after our first viewings. Again, I have no idea why he was fired, but this man apparently had a 5-season plan, and I for one would love to see that in its fullest form. I'd have to give this episode another fluctuating 8.5 to 9. This is just such incredible work on all fronts. I'm so excited to see how it all culminates, but also sad to see it go. Let me know what y'all thought of the episodes and any predictions you might have for the finale. I might even stay up to watch it this time, to be honest. That's how excited I am. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you guys are well, and I will see you in the next one.